Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabansi. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and when we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we have a pretty interesting show for you guys. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, funny enough, yesterday the NBA had something new, which was the new play-in tournament, right? And leading up to this play-in tournament, I really didn't understand how it worked. But when I was watching it yesterday, you could see that there was a lot of excitement and confusion at the same time, right? When I tuned in and I saw the Milwaukee Bucks, I forgot the team that were playing, the Milwaukee Bucks versus the New York Knicks, I immediately saw the court, and the first thought that came to my mind was, wait, do they have that championship thing in the middle of the court because they won the championship? And then I saw the different colors. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. No, this is something different. Then I started looking at the jerseys. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is something different. And then I tuned into some other games. I saw the Chicago Bulls Brooklyn Nets game, and I saw the arena, and I was like, whoa, this is a totally different vibe. And I was like, okay, this is the new play-in tournament that we have going. Now, what does this have to do with the topic of this video? Well, it has a lot to do with it. Why? Because as you guys know, the NBA has had a problem over the last few years. And the problem is they have this issue where it seems like their players don't care about putting forth an effort to go out there and perform for the paying customer. It seemed like that they were above that. We've heard various players basically say, shut up and watch the game and enjoy. Like, you don't need to be commenting, just enjoy the greatness in front of you. Kyrie Irving and these guys are the type of people that said stuff like that. And I think it was something that was damaging the ratings. Why? Because ratings, the viewership numbers are going down every year. Now, we have some people that are trying to, misrepresent the information. They'll say, well, viewership is up. Yeah, it's up from a low, which is already, it's a low that is up from the previous low, but it's still low, right? So if the views used to be, let's say 8 out of 10 and they dropped to 5, they dropped to, let's say 4 last year, and this year they went to 5. They say, well, it's up. Yeah, it's up, but it's still low, right? And you have various people trying to play that game. So about a week or so ago, we published a poll on our channel. About 2 days ago, excuse me. We published a poll on our channel, and we said, what do you think the primary reason for NBA what do you think the primary reason is for the NBA viewership dipping? And in that poll, it generated 14,000 views and 866 comments. And in that poll, we asked, we gave 5 options. First option was player empowerment. Second option was player entitlement. Third option was politics. Fourth option was other things to watch. And fifth option was other. Of the 14,000 people that voted, 46% of them said player entitlement. Player entitlement. And then I started going through the comments to read what people were saying. And it seemed like people were just pretty much focused on, but people were basically talking about the fact that now the game is all about stats and giving players a bunch of money and players not really giving a damn about the product. And then I went back to the poll that we published yesterday, which was this, or this morning, excuse me, which was this. And we posted this poll, and it depends on when you're seeing the show, about an hour ago. And about 1,007 people have voted. And I said, thoughts on the new NBA in-season tournament. Option 1, interesting. Option 2, still a bit unclear. Option 3, not necessary. Option 4, need more time to form an opinion. And I went through it and I started reading some of the comments because 38% of the people said it's still a bit unclear. One person said, I think it's a shame that it came to this. And I think that what people were talking about was the fact that now we needed to come up with a tournament like this to incentivize players to even give a damn about these games. The fact of the matter is this. This is an incentive-based thing that the NBA is doing, number one. And number two, they're doing it to sell a new product to new sponsors that would generate more revenue. And I think that the NBA knew that if they didn't incentivize these guys monetarily, they simply would mail it in. What am I talking about? For those of you who don't know, the winning team has an overall prize or prize pool or whatever you want to call it of $18 million. $18 million. If your team wins this tournament, the play-in tournament, the NBA Cup, excuse me, each player is going to be awarded with $500,000 per player. So there's a financial incentive, number one. Number two, the coaches are also going to get some money as well out of this. Now, here's a wrinkle that I didn't expect. When I was watching the games yesterday and I saw bits and pieces of various games, what surprised me was the competitive fervor in the game. These guys were competing, and you could see some of their competitive juices coming up, kind of activating, and guys were really trying to win. And I think that is a beautiful thing. And in that way, it's brilliant what the NBA is doing, because ultimately these people are competitors. They are very, very competitive. For you to make it to that level, at the professional level, you have to be hyper competitive. You have to be a hyper competitive individual. So it was refreshing to see these guys, at least from a competition standpoint, taking it seriously. I was listening to Damian Lillard at the end of the game, and he had some very interesting comments where he was essentially saying, listen, it was a bit confusing, but you could tell that there was an energy in this arena. Even though we can't really understand what this energy is, there's an energy in here. And I think that is a good thing. I think it's a good thing. But to the poll itself, I think it's quite telling that the majority of those people, and I think if you open up that poll to a wider pool, let's say 100,000 people, I think it will still continue to trend in that direction. I think it's still telling that a lot of these people think that the reason that the viewership numbers are going down is because of player entitlement. And I think there's some real truth to that. If you look at the last All-Star game, Coach Mike Malone said it was the worst basketball game he had ever seen in his life. That's what Coach Mike Malone, we're talking about professional NBA players, and you have a head coach at the NBA level saying that this was the worst basketball game he had ever seen, because the guys simply didn't care. They just didn't care. They couldn't be bothered by it. And I'll never forget hearing Shai Gilgeous-Alexander basically say, if you want players to take it more seriously, incentivize us, money talks. That is damn right. That is downright shameful. You're earning tens of millions of dollars to already be in the NBA, and you're now talking about the NBA needs to pay you more money for you to be incentivized to go out there and compete. I mean, that was very, very shameful. So for these guys to say that, I think the NBA knows that it has a problem, and I think by them implementing this, apart from the monetary gains that they could potentially gain down the line, I think it solves an issue here, where these guys need to take this thing more seriously. Now, they said whoever wins, some of this goes towards their regular season record. I don't know how that works. I have to wait and see how it all works. I think as this thing continues on, because they play every Tuesday and Saturday, we're going to learn more information about it as it goes. But I think the NBA realizes it has a problem, and they're solving it in a very brilliant way, because they did have a problem. And for the fans to have that sentiment, which essentially they're saying that they feel like the players don't care, that is a problem. Because if the customers don't feel like their money is being valued, you have a very, very serious problem. You're not going to be in business for long if you don't value your customers. I'm sorry. And the NBA noticed that, and I think they're doing something to rectify the issue that they have in front of them. So to me, to me, I think is brilliant. So what I want to know from you guys, number one, what do you think about the play-in tournament? What are your initial thoughts? Number two, what do you think about the results of that poll where people are basically saying that, listen, player entitlement, the fact that these guys are not playing defense, is a three-point shooting contest, is really affecting the viewership? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you guys on the next show. Peace.